So we just had an update come out, which is the Copper Age. Got a little copper golems and everything. And I now have a little bit of some chores to do. I have to update my data packs. And this is a whole part of the process of keeping my Minecraft server up to date. And so I kind of want to walk along the whole process and show what some of the work involved with that is. And I thought it'd just be fun to have you come along and just kind of see what it takes for me to update my data packs here. We're going to first open in the latest release. We're going to open up our two data packs there and just see what we got. All right, so we've got a world loaded up. Let's cover a couple things. So if you don't know, a data pack allows you to change a number of the settings in the game, right? So we can change things like what recipes there exist, what drops when you break a block or kill a mob, what loot you can find in chests, what structures look like. You can even change the terrain of the game, uh, what trees look like and where they spawn in the game. There's just a whole long list, and it gets more and more exciting with each update. So I've got two small data packs, and they're both in response to other data packs kind of that used to exist, no longer being maintained. So the first one here is deep slate stone cutting. This one is the simpler of the two. It just adds recipes for that exist for cobble deep slate, for regular deep slate, and is mostly just because I use a silk touch pickaxe. The second one is tag game. This is like tag that was part of vanilla tweaks. We can actually go look at that real quick. If we pick an older version and we skip down, here's tag. In later game versions, they got rid of tag. They no longer have it. So I recreated it all from scratch and have made these both available on GitHub. So usually what I do is I open up the game. Okay, we're going to actually move this to a smaller window. We're going to open up the game, and then we're going to take that save, open up the data packs folder, and we're going to open both of these data packs in there. So I should be able to copy his deep slate stone cutting. And then here's tag game. Both of them are right there. And so I should be able to reload both of those. So one of our first things here is to see if it just kind of works off the bat. Let's give ourselves a stone cutter and some deep slate. No, regular deep slate. And we can see that's already broken, so that's not a good sign. Okay, now we're going to see. We do have. It looks like the tag game stuff probably works. It's a little harder to test without using a mod like Carpet. So I think that probably is fine. Let's see. Like this still exists. We'll set the cooldown to 1 minute. And then see again, cooldown approximately 60 seconds or 1 minute. Okay, yeah, that looks right. So I think that one's already working. One way we can see what's going on is we can open up the logs. Yeah, this is the latest log. Just gonna open that up here in the console, or you can use whatever you want, like tail. So we can see when you do /reload, a bunch of stuff is gonna show up here. Reloading, loaded recipes, advancements, and more advancements. So that all looks pretty normal. It is unfortunate that this isn't working though. Okay, so we've kind of got our first debugging thing to do, which is to figure out what has changed between these versions. So we should be able to come down here. Nah, we will not be able to come down there. Okay. Pack format now includes minor versions. Profile components resolve differently, which doesn't matter. World borders are no dimension specific. None of this is specific to me. So we're going to have to pop by snapshot. Here they all are. Alright, so we're just going to scroll through here and find all the new stuff. Pack format. Pack versions for data packs and resource packs now have minor versions. Okay. Backwards compatible. Pack the MC meta. Supported formats field has been removed. Okay, so we're going to actually look at this here. Should be able to do is just like that. I do trust the authors. They're me. Should see both our things here. Okay, so if we go to, let's go to Deep Slate Stone Crafting first. So we see right here, we have supported formats. See right there, we have this portion that says supported formats. This is no longer something that exists, which is kind of unfortunate because I really liked this. It's what it allows me to do is say, hey, this data pack works in older versions and newer versions. And the way I make it work for different versions is I can say, for these versions of the game, I want to use these files instead. And that's been kind of convenient. So, like for the Deep Slate Stone cutting, even though the overlay system didn't exist back in 1.17 when this data pack would first be applicable, this data pack still works for any version from 1.17 to, I guess, not now. Like right before now. So that's lovely. Pack the MC meta format has been updated. So no more supported formats. If the pack declares support for a pack version of the previous format less than 82, which is in this case right here, it is still required. Otherwise, it is not allowed. It must be removed. Okay. So we're hoping to support 88.0. Okay. So we put that right here, 88.0. All right. Pack format is now optional. We're going to leave it right now. It's kind of helpful for me to remember what version we're at. I think it's very helpful for other people who download this. Remember to update that too. Alright, added required field min format. The minimum version supported. Okay. So we should be able to say min format. Full version is specified as a list of 2 integers. So hopefully I should be able to say 7 as the min format. And then there's a max format, which should hopefully be 88.0. So we can just go 88.0, I think, is what it wants me to do. It says a single integer is the same as just the 1, just right here, 7. And then we can have a list of 2 integers to represent the major and minor version numbers. Specifying a single integer is interpreted as any minor version. Very interesting. Alright, so we should take off the supported formats because that's been replaced by this. That works. And so we don't actually now need the pack format because we're specifying it right here. So we just take that off. Oh wait, if the pack declares support for a pack version with the previous format, less than 82, it is still required. So I should keep it. The question is, do I do it like that? Or do I do it like that? Probably like this. I'm certain it will confuse older versions if I do something different. So we'll do it like that. And then actually we don't need a minor version. We could just specify 88 for now. And then later, if that's a problem, we will find out. but I'm assuming that minor versions should not break things as often, so I should be fine just to do it like this, and then not even update my code the next time that a minor version is incremented. Okay, so we're in a good spot. Okay, max format. For overlay formats, here we go. So those are overlays. The formats field has been removed. Okay, so that's this portion right here. If the pack includes any overlay range that includes a pack version of the previous format, less than 82, it is still required for all overlay definitions. Okay, so these two right here are using the old overlay format. And we might need to do one more. We might need to take this and make it go for whichever is the latest version. I'm guessing it'll be less than 82. It would be 81 would be the max. For thoroughness, I'll do 81 right there, and then we will deal with this in a second. So let's call this change me. All right. Added required field, min format and max format with the same formats, fields above with the same name for the pack section. With the same name for the pack section. Okay, yeah, so pack section is this right here, and so it's saying we add min format and max format for all of these, but we don't do it for anything older than 82. So it would only be for this one right here. So we should change this one. So instead of formats, I should say min format. Oops. Like that. I should say 82. And we should have a max format and put our giant number in there. All right. Shaders, tags. There's a frog? There is a. You wandered from way over there, frog. You are silly. That's crazy. The frog must have wandered from like way over here. Okay, we just have a frog friend now. I'm fine with this. So scroll through the whole thing, and it seems like this is the main thing right here. Once again, it's mad at me because of Spyglass just not being updated properly. Change me. So let's mess this. So this is 1.21.2 to 1.21. What version are we in? 9. So that's gonna be 8, and that's gonna be overlay 1.21. Oh, this is the same. Yeah, so we're gonna have to split it. Can I just do? Can we just actually do the same one for both? We're gonna experiment with that for a second. Okay, so hopefully that's enough on its own to just do what we need. No, it is not. Bwah, bwah. Okay, there really weren't that many other things changed. So let's try some renaming. Alright, so we have 1.20.5 to 1.21, 1.21 to 1.21.2, 1.21.2 to 1.21.8, and 1.21.9 to the present. Okay, so then we should be able to change. That's a 9, and that's an 8. I don't think it's going to fix it. Yeah, it's still broken. How odd. So the question is, what is broken about this? let's see if the console said anything. Ah, yes, it does. Found non-pack entry. DS store ignoring. Okay, we're gonna remove all those. I think it's DS store. The single. Okay. Okay. So we did that. Couldn't load file pack metadata. Pack declares support for format 7, but game version supporting format 17 to 81 require a supported formats field. Okay. So it's saying that we need to have a supported formats field. This has been removed. Ah, okay. So it's only removed if you don't support the old. But then we also have the min format. So I think we do supported formats. Oh, let's just see what we wrote before. Sure. So get rid of that and put a little comma in there. Okay. So we're going to put 88 in there and just see what happens. Okay, there's a DS store. Missing required field formats. Must be present. Missing required field formats. Oh, it wants me to include formats. Okay. We'll just toss that in there. See what happens. So we're going to put you in the corner. Oh, okay, we're doing pretty good here. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's see if we can change this back to present. Right, so this whole thing would be like that. Okay. Very good. I'm happy to maintain less files in total. Okay. So that appears to be all we need. So there's just anything from 82 onwards. We're just going to do that. Here's the next question. Instead of specifying a giant number, the max format allows us to do something weird, right? No, okay. We're still going to do this. So the reason we're doing this giant number here is in the hopes that I don't actually have to change any of the code here. By code, I mean this isn't really code. I don't have to change anything in the data pack to make it work for future versions. Is the hope. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's add our change. Hello? Ah, there we go. Let's add some of our changes. So we've got updating our version. Our pack format is now 88. Again, we're not going to mess with the small numbers for a second here. Supported formats, we changed the max inclusive up to 88, and we include it as min format and max format. We're going to double check. I believe this should work in older versions, so we're going to have to double check that that's the case. Okay, and then when we get down to the overlay, we copy the last one and set it for 82 up to giant number. And that should work. All right. next question we have to ask ourselves is the way that we update these. I'm going to show you right here. We're using a GitHub workflow. So what happens is, let's go right there. Here we are. Okay, so this is a feature that you'll find with most repository hubs like GitHub, is they'll have something similar to actions here. And so what it allows us to do is we can give it a set of steps to follow, and it will like perform those actions whenever you update the code. So in this case, our set of actions, let's put that right there, show this on the left half. All right, so for this one, we're saying, hey, every time we create a release and we publish it, then we're going to follow these steps, okay? We're going to take the repository, we're going to zip the files up, and then we're going to upload those to Modrinth. And here we just provide it with kind of an API token, so just like essentially a secret password to say, hey, this is authorized by me, by Superdill. And then we just give it enough information to be able to update the information, the code here. So here we'd say this is 1.21.7 is supported. 1.21.8 I believe was a minor release. Yeah, just a hot fix, and it just released like a week or two after the previous update. And so that's why it's not included in the code. I didn't update the data pack in any way because there was no actual changes to the data pack. And so I didn't have to change it in the code. But we're going to add 1.21.9 down here at the bottom. And that should be enough to be able to publish this. So we will also add that change right there. Yeah, we have all that ready to commit. Okay. Let's go to the tag game real quick. And let's take a look at that. As you can see, we're using overlays opposite in these two projects. Tag game needs to have Deep Slate Stonecutting needs to have support for versions that exist before overlays. And so I just made it so by default, like the default files right inside of the data folder have support all the way back to 1.17. And then the next time that there's a breaking change, we already have overlays existing in 1.20.5. And so we're just able to use overlays from there and just add an overlay for the current version of the data pack. This makes it a little harder to develop the data pack because instead of the default folder structure being the current, any updates would actually be done down in this random folder down here. So it does make developing the code a little weird. So instead for tag game, it's only existed since after overlays were a thing. And so I just say, hey, as far back in time as you want, apply this overlay. But in all honesty, like the current version is the default. So the overlay is only to patch, like backport the data pack to older versions of the game. The current development for tag game is actually the data folder. So it's just a different way of developing it. Okay, let's apply some of our changes that we made to Deep Slate Stonecutting to tag game. Okay, so same thing here. Just going to increment that. Say that we have made some type of change to the code. And we still have pack format. We still have supported formats. And then we're going to include a min format and max format. Do it right here. Though our min format is 48. Okay. And then for overlays, this is to backport, and so it shouldn't matter what I put. I shouldn't need to change this yet. Okay, so if we reload, double check. It's not like mad at me in some weird way. Okay, I think we're good. I don't see anything in here. I think these are looking good. Okay, so we updated the version. Pack format went up to 88. Yes. Okay, and then same thing with the other one. We need to go update the upload file right here to say that there's support for the minor version that we kind of skipped inside of the code and that major version. Okay, one other thing, because I like to be a little pedantic. It won't have to be this one, it have to be this one. We want to be careful that this is the exact right number that we switch over at. This ends up being pretty simple because that's exactly when our major breaking change occurred, right here, 82. If we were only worried about the major versions, then this number would technically start at like 88 because that's the newest major version. Like we can check right here. We went from 81 to 88.0. And that's fine, but I do like kind of going back and adding support for each of the snapshots, even if I wasn't updating the code at each snapshot. All right. So we should be good to go for both of these. The one thing we have to check is if they work in an older version. So we're going to create a new world. Oops. But we're going to do it in an older version of the game. That. Yeah, if we open one of these, check the status, we'll see we have all the same changes. So everything should be the exact same. That's up to date too. Just gonna reload, check what it says. Recipes, advancements, achievements. Everything looks good. So we'll trigger TG help. We're in seconds right here. So 60 seconds. Yep. And then we can check function tag become tagger. There we go. Hopefully that works properly. We kind of need carpet mod to check it properly, but I'm not too worried. There's nothing really breaking, so I'm not stressed about it. And there we go. And we have deep slate. We even get 2 slabs. Look at that. All right, so all that's looking really great to me. I'm not too stressed about it. Let's take our code and let's push it. Okay. So we're just going to say for tag game, update to work in 1.21.9. And it's pack format 88.0. Okay. All right. There we go. So now that they're both updated, woo, see, 2 minutes ago. So now we're going to do a release. And so normally what I do is see what I did last time, just to make my life easier. All right. Draft a new release for 1.21.9. Okay. Release title tag game -v.1.2.5. So this actually does matter. It's going to be the same number that gets automatically uploaded to Modrint. So we see here's v1.2.4. So we're going to put 1.2.5, and then the changelog is going to match this part. And that was all set up using the, here we go, the GitHub action. Let's see right here. It's going to grab the release name and set it as the name of the version. And then the version is going to use the tag name. So we need to make sure we set the tag. Perfect. And that should be good. So now I just need to publish that. Okay, yeah, so we have the tag name, the body, so on. Perfect. So now if we go back here to versions, we should see that it automatically has uploaded version 1.2.5. So that's perfect. We should, hilariously, this did not break some of these older versions. And so I'm going to go through, I don't know why you got updated to 1.21.8, but y'all didn't. Very odd. So I'm going to have to go through and make all of these show up as work for 1.21.9. Because they all should. All right, let's push that other one, shall we? So it's right here, deep slate stone cutting. Here we go. Releases. Put one of them right here as an example. Draft a new release. Set tag v.1.4. v1.1.4. Pack format number to 88.0 for 1.21.9. All right. Should be able to publish that release as well. And we can actually go watch the action as it works. So is that right? It's just following the steps in that file. So right now, it's grabbing the instructions that it actually needs to publish my changes to Modrint. Right in here. So right, we're going from 113 to 114. Okay, so it finished pulling the code it needs. Now it's actually zipping the file up. Okay, and here's actually uploading to Modrint. And now that it's done with that, we should be able to refresh, and there it is. Super cool. Okay, and I know with this one, it's not compatible with 1.21.9, so we're not going to update this number. Just these. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.